Welcome back to Rowrah in Cumbria. It's the Minimoto rookies up next, and joining me are the race winners from round two. It's Ben Smith who won the televised race, and Alexander Merchant who won the two races on the Sunday that we never saw. But Ben, let me ask you first. That was a pretty comfortable victory for you at Red Lodge on the Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really comfortable, and I was really pleased for the win.
Okay, and that's giving you the championship lead coming into this round, of course, and the man right behind you, Alexander Merchant. Now, Alexander, you won the two races on the Sunday. You're 4 points behind Ben in the championship. Coming here to Rowrah in Cumbria, how are you finding it here? Have you been here before?
No, first time.
Okay, so how are you finding the track?
It's quite nice. Good track conditions and...
Yeah, good weather this weekend, isn't it? Which is not always the case here at Rowrah in Cumbria. Time qualifying coming up. How's your times been looking in practice compared to Ben, for example, and of course Cameron Saul as well, who we know is very quick as well?
I haven't got my times.
Okay, well Ben, what about you? Do you know what times you've been doing compared to Alexander?
Well, yesterday I did a 1:08 on my Minimoto. I'm going to try and beat my Minimoto one.
Well, the racing dynamic in this championship just gets more and more interesting. In a 12-rider field, that's the top 10. The only riders not on that caption, Luca Hopkins on P11 and Josh Kirsch on 12. The championship leaders going off 6. And we're on board with Mason Foster's Johnny Garnes, who sweeps through to the lead. Garnes out front from P4. What an amazing start, not least because he's got this fantastic rear-facing camera on, which is an angle we don't often see with the onboard cameras, and he's looking back obviously at Cameron Saul there in second. Looking up the inside for third place, it's Alexander Merchant, but it looks like Mason Foster has got that place back, so we're back on board here with Johnny Garnes. Looking at Cameron Saul, who won the first two races of the season, third in the championship currently. Looking down the inside, going into the stewardesses. Has he got that? Looks like he has. That's Cameron Saul out front then from Garnes in second, Foster in third, Merchant is fourth. Looks like fifth place for Taylor Stewart Campbell, and is that Orlando Phillips, I think it is, in sixth. That's information there for Mason Foster, third on track, fourth in the championship after round two. We're on board here with Mason heading down to Paddock Bend, the final turn. In third, he's chasing Cameron Saul out front, Johnny Garnes there in second. Taylor Stewart Campbell, that's his information. Fifth on track, sixth in the championship after round two. Taylor just making his way across the start-finish line. That looks like Josh Kirsch heading round the left-hander at Sunny Bend. Back on board with Mason Foster in third place. That's the two leaders out front. Looks like Mason's got a little bit closer. Runs a little bit wide in that hairpin though. Probably cost himself 3 or 4 metres. It's Cameron Saul, who looked like a world beater at round one. He won those first two races of the season, don't forget. And then he was leading the third race in the opening weekend by a mile, crashed, couldn't get back on the bike. And the dynamic in this championship means there are 3 races over the weekend, 25 points on offer in each race. But of course, if you don't finish, you don't score any points. And it meant that despite dominating the entire weekend pretty much, he came out of the championship at round one in third place. He didn't score any points in the third race, so came out with 50 points. With Ben Smith and Alexander Merchant coming out with more points than him over the weekend to put him down in third place after a dominating weekend. He didn't dominate at round two. That was Smith and Merchant. Smith won the televised race, of course, as we heard earlier when we did the interviews. Merchant won races 2 and 3, which has left Cameron Saul down the field in third place in the championship. As we see Johnny Garnes trying to challenge him, again out the hairpin. Garnes just can't quite get it done. So Cameron Saul in third place in the championship, but this could do his championship chances no harm whatsoever, not least because Ben Smith, where is he? We haven't seen him. Ben Smith, the championship leader, started P6 and he hasn't really improved. So this is going to do Cameron Saul's chances of certainly bagging the championship lead after this round no harm whatsoever. Effectively getting the championship lead back, which he had after the first 2 races of the season. The left-hander there, great shot from the drone going through Sunny Bend up towards Paddock Bend. The last turn on the circuit, Mason Foster trying to keep the 2 leaders out front honest at least, but he's got a big gap to make up there as he goes past the start-finish line. No Jake Sanson, by the way, this weekend. You may have noticed I'm commentating all on my lonesome. Jake Sampson, these days a world-renowned and in-demand commentator, got a call from Microsoft earlier in the year to do the Xbox World Championships out in Texas, and he's just had a phone call to confirm his participation in something called Lemons this year. I think that's how it's pronounced, Lemans. Apparently it's four-wheeled vehicles called cars racing for 24 hours. It will never catch on, Jake, never catch on. But from Lemons to the far more prestigious Rowrah circuit in Cumbria for this called FAB-Racing British Minibikes Championship. This is the Minimoto rookie class. That's Johnny Garness. He's got that rear-facing camera on, but all we're looking at now from it, obviously, is an empty track. That's Cameron Saul coming upon the man that we never saw on the grid positions. The 41 bike ridden by Luca Hopkins. As I said earlier, bear in mind that there is a distinctive difference between the riders like Cameron Saul, who've got a year's worth of experience, and Luca, new to the championship, who is here learning his craft. But it's about enjoying it, getting the extra track time, and he will get better and better as time goes on. This is a battle for 6th place. That's Orlando Phillips in 6th. And our first look at Ben Smith in the yellow helmet as Orlando Phillips goes through to 6th place. Smith through to 7th. Dropping Jack Kirsch back to 8th, but Ben Smith, the championship leader, in 7th place. He's having an absolute nightmare weekend, and Jack Kirsch, just to add insult to injury, sweeps past and drops Smith back to 8th again. The race winner from round 2 is having a mare. Surely he's got some technical problems with that bike. Cameron Saul is not helping his cause, because Saul out front is going to take the championship lead, no doubt. He'll be taking advantage of Ben Smith's dramas. There is Ben Smith once more with Jack Kirsch right in behind. Oh, and in fact, that looks like Orlando Phillips there on the red machine. May have had a problem out of shot of the cameras. Smith has taken advantage, so Smith now up to 6th place on the last lap. That's worth an extra couple of points as he's made his way past Jack Kirsch there in 7th. But this is the race leader and the man who will bag himself the championship lead, no doubt, after this weekend, through the final turn for the last time. And Cameron Saul, who dominated the first 2 races of the season, is delighted to dominate here at Rowrah in the televised race. A great result for Johnny Garness as well. Likewise, Mason Foster, who bags a podium here at Rowrah. That's Jamie Woodcock going through the line, but he's a lap down. It will be Alexander Merchant we're looking for next. There he is, that's Alexander Merchant, 2nd in the championship coming into the round. And with the dramas Ben Smith had down in 6th place, he's likely to hold on to that 2nd place. But Cameron Saul it is that takes the win from Gunnes, Foster Merchant and Taylor Stewart Campbell, a solid 5th place. A great start to round 3 weekend for you, winning the televised race. Just talk us through the race from your point of view.
From the beginning I got 2nd, where I think it's Johnny, number 75, went up the middle, and I had to work to pull him in and get him.
But in the end, another great result. I think that may give you the championship lead moving forward. 2 races to go tomorrow. Do you like this track here at Rowrah?
It's one of my favourite tracks.
Okay, well done this weekend and good luck at round 4.
Thank you.
Another win in race 2 and a 3rd place in race 3 has given Cameron Saul a 15-point championship lead ahead of Alexander Merchant going to round 4, with Ben Smith dropping to 3rd. Mason Foster tied with Taylor Stewart Campbell on 99 points in 4th and 5th. Just time to bring you the highlights from the Moto Team and Pit Bike 140 race. You may have noticed the start there. The poleman, Sam Clowes, getting away like an Evel Knievel stunt motorcycle off the front of the grid there. Kids, if you don't know what an Evel Knievel stunt motorcycle is, it was the greatest toy in 1973. Bar none. Don't debate me, you know I'm right. If you don't know what one is, go and Google it. It was the greatest toy. There were, of course, no X stations or play boxes in those days. I say it was the greatest toy unless you had a ruler, 2 dice, 20 matchbox cars, a pen and some paper with which you could create your own motorsport championship, providing, of course, you had some imagination, which, of course, you kids these days just do not have. That's enough of me reminiscing about the 1970s, although if you do press me, I may one day tell you about how good I looked in a pair of red high-waisted loons and brown Chelsea boots. It's Clowes that leads from Kinnaird, Whittaker, Stevenson, the 60 bike ridden by Steve Moore, then Mark Follett. Keith Bolton comes next on the 8 bike. He's followed by Campana's senior and junior, Leo Smith on the 25, then Ashley Errington, Dan Mills. Mills just going through the shot on the 7 bike, the 89 was Stephen Cross, then 55 Mike Elms and 64 was ridden by Ben O'Keefe. Round the outside for second place at this stage was Whittaker. That's second place overall, but the leader in the pit bike 140 class was Whittaker. Whittaker would take advantage of that move and pull away from Earl Stevenson here behind Fraser Kinnaird, but Stevenson at this stage would go past Kinnaird for third overall, second in the pit bike 140 class, chasing Sean Whittaker, who as you can see here had a comfortable lead at this stage, but he wouldn't hold on to it for long into the last lap. Sam Clowes on the 33 through the left-hander, gets a round of applause from his dad. Does he give his dad a little bit of acknowledgement? He does, a little nod saying thanks for keeping me in the championship, Dad, and riding the bike for me at round 1 when I was working. What's that all about? And here comes Stevenson through the line. You can see in the last couple of laps he tracked down Sean Whittaker and took the win in the pit bike 140 class from Whittaker, and Ashley Errington coming through for third. In the Moto team result, it was Clowes from Fraser Kinnaird, Tony Campana senior third, Mark Follett fourth, and Tony Campana junior rounding out the top 5. We'll be back with more from Rowrah after the break.